All right, guys. So it's Western Conference final time. We have our two teams now, with the Vegas Golden Knights eliminating the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars eliminating the Seattle Kraken. So it will be Dallas Stars versus Vegas Golden Knights for the Western Conference final and the right to go to the Stanley Cup final. Honestly, not shocked about these two. I think if I had one to come from the Pacific side, it was always the Vegas Golden Knights. On the other
You went with
side,
Wild. No.
hey, yeah. Went with Wild, but Dallas, Dallas was always one that I saw as a potential candidate for the well, actually even for the Stanley Cup final. If it wasn't Minnesota, I had Dallas there as well as a close second. So I'm not surprised at all to see Dallas there. But yeah, this is gonna shape up to be one hell of a Western Conference final, I believe. Um, if you look at the regular season stats, you can see Dallas Stars 3-0-0. However, two of those games were in shootout. So, take what you will from that. There, technically, I look at it, and Jaden would agree, as one win and two draws, and Vegas with one loss and two draws rather than 3-0, because it's a shootout. You don't get shootouts in playoffs. You play until someone scores. So it'll be a lot different come playoff times. So I wouldn't really read too much into that 3-0 in the regular season. But yeah, I'll get Jaden to run through some of the breakdowns of some of the stats and what it looks like the series is going to lead into.
Yeah, so the journeys that the teams got through to get here through the past rounds, Dallas beating Seattle in seven, and then Vegas just recently beating the Oilers. Um, so decent teams they will beat. Seattle definitely put up a huge fight, and Oilers, they've got a lot of work to do. Honestly, it was just stay out of the box for Vegas, and that was pretty much it for them. There wasn't too much 5-on-5 goal scoring from the Oilers. In regards to players to look out for the series, obviously Hintz has been on fire. 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points, and Eichel's been amazing as well in his first playoffs. 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. So those are two to look out for. Marchessault has been really good. Really showed up in the Oilers series in the last game, scoring a hat trick, and obviously a +10 there as well. The concern for me for the Vegas Golden Knights is the special teams. Their power play and penalty kill has not been good. As you can see by the stats there, 70.5 and 60%. Whereas on the Dallas side, it's been pretty much outstanding. 31% for power play and 83% for penalty kill. So I think that could play a big part of it. Obviously, Vegas is really good at staying out of the box. I think the least penalized team in the league during the regular season, and it's kind of stayed true to a degree in the playoffs as well. But I don't know. I think Dallas, with their firepower, they draw a lot of penalties, and it's hard to keep that team stamped down in a sense. Last thing I'll just note, goaltending situation. Aiden Hill has shown up. He showed up in the Oilers series, and I think they probably will lean on him maybe a little bit going into this series. Obviously, with the better save percentage and goals against average than Laurent. And on the Dallas side, obviously they've just been playing Ottinger. Scott Wedgwood stats are there, but he's only come in twice for fill in any blowout games really. Only playing 52 minutes, so it's pretty much just Ottinger versus Hill or Brossois. And I guess that's pretty much that for me from now.
Yeah, I think you touched on it. With the goaltending side of things for Vegas is can Aiden Hill. Yeah, I know he stepped up when he stepped in for Vegas, but can he keep that going? Being quite a, you know, I I don't inexperienced, I think the word I'd probably use to describe him. I know he's obviously done well. You're looking at a firepower of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and everything else that the Oilers have to offer, and he's played pretty well, right? Like 3 wins, 1 loss, 2.19 goals against average, and 0.934 save percentage. And that's all against the Oilers. He's only come in to play against the Oilers, so yeah, he's done pretty well so far, but yeah, it is going to be a question of, is it sustainable? Can he keep that going um, for the entire series against what, it might not be as potent of an offense, Dallas, is what Edmonton is, or Edmonton's first and second line. But I feel like Dallas's depth, he doesn't just have to worry about Dallas's first, second line. He's got to worry about their first, second, third, and fourth. I think they've got a lot more depth than what Edmonton does. I think that's something that Edmonton lacks, is their depth forward in their bottom six. Whereas in Dallas, not so much. They've got players that can step up and score on all four lines. So yeah, that'll definitely be an area. But other than that, I think Vegas are pretty similar to Dallas in their pretty even side, right? Like they've got 4 lines for their offense. They've got 3 lines for their defense. It's not just, they don't just rely on 1 or 2 lines to do everything. I know Jack Eichel's obviously had a phenomenal playoff series, and Rupe Hintz has had a phenomenal playoff series, but they do get a lot from their other players. They do get a lot from their third and fourth line. So yeah, and you can see with the Vegas Golden Knights, plus minus. I know when you're only conceding power play goals against Edmonton, it doesn't go against your plus minus, but having your worst player as a -1 just shows you how
Mm.
good their depth is.
And
They're
that's the
not
only
just.
two minuses. They're the only two minuses in their team is Carrier and Colasar, and they're only -1. That's
Yeah,
it.
and that's phenomenal. You look at Dallas's side; they've got 3 in -5.
Mm. So
So that is a little bit concerning there for them. But I do feel like Jake Ottinger's a little bit more experienced, and he's probably a little bit more of a vet in that sense, that he's played every game. His
yeah,
save percentage did drop drastically in the Kraken series. There were a couple of games where the Kraken just they put several goals through off of not many shots, because that's just what Seattle do. Um, they don't have a lot of shots sometimes, but they're very potent when they do.
quality over quantity. It's kind of the opposite to the Canes in
Yeah,
a sense. With the Seattle Kraken.
yeah,
I would
exactly.
say like on the Aiden Hill Bristle a little issue like on who takes net in game 1, 2, and so on. I think this player's proven anything. You got to play the hot hands. It's what the Devils did against the Rangers, and it's how Devils beat the Rangers after going 2 down. And it's why basically that I see the Oilers have been kicked out because they didn't play Campbell, and
Yeah,
and they played Skinner, and so
yeah,
you got to play the hot end. And if that's Hill, you play Hill. If he fails, just you got to make the switch and put Brosel in, and
yeah.
they got to earn the net. You don't just give the net; you got to earn
Mm,
it.
exactly. It's what Canes did with Anderson.
Mm,
He didn't
exactly,
start.
exactly.
Ranta was looking pretty good. And then they went, "Do you know what, Ranta, last game wasn't great." Threw Anderson in. Anderson played well. And they went, "Fuck, we're going to write this." And, and look what happened. He played extremely well in the Devils series. And yeah, it is. You're exactly right. You've got to play the hot hand. Aiden Hill has to be the game 1 starter. Um, and honestly, even if he had a poor game, you'd probably back him in too. But yeah, I agree with you. Like ride the hot hand. If he has a bad game, you can put it into consideration. Maybe play him again. If he has a second bad game, make the change. Pretty simple. But I think if you were to go away from Hill right now, that'd be a very, very bad mistake from Vegas. He's gotten you into this third, um, Western Conference Final, you got to back him. And obviously Dallas will back Ottinger. I can't see Wedgwood taking his place anytime soon. It's just gonna, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series. I think this is geared up. We've got our predictions down in the bottom there, and we've both gone Dallas in 7. And I think this is how close this is going to be because it could go either way. Vegas could win it, Dallas could win it, but I honestly think this is a series built to go 7 games. Whoever wins, I don't think they're winning 4-0, 4-1. This game is going at least 6 games. Um, and honestly, I feel like this is built for a 7 game series. I also mentioned to you during the week about the Game 7 OT winner. I'd love to see that with this series. Just Game 7 goes to OT, 2-2, winner takes all, winner goes to the Stanley Cup Final. Like that would just be phenomenal, and I feel like this could be a series that does that.
Mm. I see that too. I've gone 7 as well. Main reason I do think Dallas is a better team, though that's nothing against Vegas. They're an extremely good team as well. A lot of good players on that team. I just think Dallas have a little bit more firepower. They've obviously got the better special teams. I honestly think it could come down to the talking point of special teams because these two teams are really good 5-on-5, and I like the goaltender in Ottinger more as well than Hill or Briswell. So my issue that I had not Stars doing it in 6 or 5 or whatnot is just I feel like they're sometimes a little bit inconsistent, and the same with Vegas. As seen through the Edmonton series, where come out play the best game ever, then they come out the next game and play horrible, and it was kind of just topsy turvy. But Dallas have been known to do that all through the regular season, a little bit through the playoffs as well. So I think it could be possibly another like I'm hot, you're cold type situation. But I honestly think
Hmm.
I don't expect to see as many blowouts as we have seen in the playoffs to date. I feel like these should be tighter games.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I think if you look at the Dallas Seattle sort of series, the first game was tight in OT. The last game was tight, but every other game finished 3 or more goals basically. Um, it was yeah, it was basically whoever was on that game won pretty easily, pretty easily. And it was similar with the Vegas and Edmonton, right? Like, you know, 6-4, 5-1, 5-1, 4-1. They had a 4-3 in there, but the final game was 5-2.
Hmm.
So it was, basically whoever was on was taking that game. And yeah, I hope that's not the case, but it definitely seems like that could be the case with this series. I'm hoping we see a much more even, consistent series where each game is only decided by 1 or 2 goals, and both teams are in the game the entire time. I
Hmm.
don't want to see these blowout games where it's basically like, oh, you didn't turn up today. It's all right. Move our attention onto game 2.
Well,
Oh, you didn't arrive this time. Move
yeah.
on to game 3.
Well, like Lindy Ruff
Yeah.
said that all these blowouts in the playoffs, they haven't been all on just teams not showing up. A lot of it is you go down by a goal or two, and the other teams are just pushing that much harder to score that goal, that they're playing
Mm.
more loose or relaxed defensively. And that's why
And
another
then you
one or
capitalize.
two go in, and then obviously it looks like a blowout, but really it's not. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it has been 50-50 of just teams not showing up and teams just pushing a little just pushing harder to score goals when and then conceding. But yeah, I got Dallas in 7. Would not be surprised by any chance that Vegas win this series either. I think it's very close. But I'm also rooting for Dallas just for the fact that I called them to make it all the way during the regular season. About halfway through the regular season, I think we did the video. So
Yeah.
I think I'm on the green bandwagon at this point and going all the way.
Yeah. Would be a phenomenal call, that's for sure. And yeah, it's incredible because you've got Dallas, who you predicted to make the cup final. and I have Carolina, who I predicted to make the Cup final on the other end.
And if
So
that's the head-to-head, then that'd be
yeah,
amazing, wouldn't it?
I was going to say Carolina versus Dallas in the final. It'll definitely be a personal bet going on there.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I won the first one,
Um,
Dallas vs Wild, so
yeah,
Dallas vs
I
Canes
need
could
I
even.
need to I need to ping it back, that's for sure. But no, I think this is going to be a fantastic series. I think whoever makes the Stanley Cup final out of these two teams, well deserved. I think both teams have been phenomenal throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. So I don't think there can be a team here that we go, oh, I don't want these guys to make the final because they just don't deserve to be there. I think these two teams have, yeah, honestly, they've been fantastic all season and would be well deserved whichever one makes it. But yeah, I've got Dallas in 7 as well, just like you.
Alrighty. Well, leave a comment below on what you think of this series, who your prediction is going forward, and if we're going to be right or wrong on our predictions. Don't forget to like the video to support us, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content, as we'll be posting more videos about the playoffs and the playoff series. But until then, until the next video, we'll catch you later, guys.
Okay, guys.